And welcome to the PLL on ESPN, presented by Warrior. Gorgeous day in sunny San Diego, California. It's a homecoming for the California Redwoods. We'll have the Woods later on this afternoon, but first, it's more than just an hors d'oeuvre. We could have a doozy for you. The Denver Outlaws and Brennan O'Neill, the rookie, taking on, alongside the veteran, Eric Law, playing his second game since rejoining the Outlaws, taking on the Cannons and their rookie sensation, last year's Torero winner, Pat Cavanaugh. Let's take a look at the stand. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Chris Cotter alongside Quint, Kessenich, and Ryan Boyle. And RB, when you talk about this Outlaws team, they're a team that even a couple of weeks ago you could have given them for dead, but they had a great win last week. Can they build on that this week?
That's the question. Can they actually string together some games on a consistent basis? They've been up and down. Impressive win last year. They trade for Eric Law. They finally have an adult in the room. They have a real test today against the Cannons.
More on them in a little bit. When you think about the Cannons, you had Marcus Holman come over last year. He was an MVP candidate last year, had them in the running. He has them in the running again this year. He could win MVP this year.
He could.
Let's do this thing. Torero Stadium on the campus of USD, just north of downtown San Diego. It's all about Comic-Con this weekend. I got a couple of comical characters here in the booth with me as we get started on our Redwoods homecoming weekend in California. Face-off between the Cannons and the Outlaws. Zach Tucci wins it. First possession of the game goes to the Boston Cannons. Here's Holman. Cannons in there all blue. Outlaws in all white with orange numbers. Pat Cavanaugh. 51 in blue. He's missed 4 games this year with injury. He's back. Holman's got his defender hung up, so he's looking for a cutter. Now he comes upfield, doesn't have an angle, though, shoots it wide of the target. As the shot clock is winding down, still 2 seconds, but you got a feeling that Cavanaugh is just going to dump this in the corner. And he does just that.
Always interesting to see the matchups on each of the first possessions. And not a surprise to see Manley covering Nolting, Bernhardt on Holman, and the agile JT Giles Harris on the rookie Pat Cavanaugh.
One that jumps out for me is Bernhardt. You've got to stay close to Holman at all times.
Brennan O'Neill, 42 in white.
Right, here we go. Right.
Now the Outlaws will attack on the far side.
Right, alone.
Spin inside, shot! Saved that time easily by Colin Kirst. Our 2 goalies, Colin Kirst, 3rd year out of Rutgers for the Cannons. Owen McElroy from Georgetown is in goal for the Outlaws. Asher Nolting, look at the physical presence. Now the slide comes in the double.
A good free double team there while the Cannons were substituting behind the play.
Denver spent the majority of their time defensively in practice yesterday dealing with Asher Nolting. What's their slide mentality, the big 32?
Oh, Cavanaugh almost got a little bit of a step, but a beautiful job by JT Giles Harris to force the turnover.
And if he didn't nail that trail check, Cavanaugh was going to be able to turn the corner.
And almost certainly score. There's Cavanaugh on the ride. That's what he did so well at Notre Dame in college, forcing turnovers in the middle of the field. And this one eventually ends up being a turnover.
That was keyed by Ethan Raw, 35 in blue. He's the disruptor in the middle of the field.
Cannons want to strike early, and the bounce shot goes from 2-point range. Matt Campbell, their 15th 2-pointer of the year. That ties the PLL record that was set by the Whipsnakes last year.
This shot comes out of his stick funny.
It's like a knuckle puck.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it hits the defender. It just comes out of his stick, and then you'll see the goaltender step left, and the ball actually kicks to his right. Left-handed plant.
Just English on it.
It's a weird release. It looked like he was going to yank that to the far post, and then he hit him with the stick side bouncer.
Hey, Q, from a goalie's perspective, this league plays a lot of their games on the field turf in a lot of their stadiums. A beautiful natural grass surface here at Torero Stadium. How does that have an effect on those shots?
I think this is an even playing surface. I don't think it right now, if it was wet, it would favor the shooters. But you talk about a golf course green. This is the nicest grass field that I have ever walked on.
It's beautiful. It's perfect.
I mean, I've been to Tampa's football stadium. I've been to them all. There's nothing better than this field.
Yeah, it's in great shape, too, here at Torero Stadium, and the fans starting to pile in on a beautiful day. Asher Nolting, by the way, the assist on that goal, that's his 100th career point.
And his 5th assist has been for a 2-pointer this season, which leads the league.
Here's O'Neal looking to work one-on-one. Now he's got the shorty on him. Double team comes, though. 2 short sticks on 42, and he gets by it. He shoots a 2-pointer and scores!
Are you kidding me, Brennan O'Neal? I mean, this is a Herculean effort. This is why he's the 1st overall pick, Q.
And he makes this look so easy. He makes this look so easy. Look at the guy. He's ripped. He's handling the double team, swims, ducks underneath it. And then you'd think he'd want to give it up at that stage after using all that kind of energy. But watch him come out of this dodge, Ryan, and get the ball in the right part of his stick right here and decide, well, I may as well take it to the rack. Left-handed seamlessly. Another stick side bouncer. These goaltenders aren't moving their feet.
It's one thing to score a 2-pointer off a step down like Campbell. That's on the run. That is a higher level degree of difficulty.
O'Neal coming off a hat trick last weekend.
That bodes well for him. Typically, when he starts fast, he usually has monster games, collegiately and as a pro. Slow starts, sometimes he gets lethargic.
Well, what I love about it is he's immediately inserting himself into the game. He's not letting the game come to him.
Nolting. As Manley crashes through a potential pick. Asher's now on a shorty. Just wants to back into him. Still has possession before it's finally knocked out of his stick. Loose ball picked up. Verdaro's going to look to give it a shot.
Nolting's helmet came off, so this will be a turnover or a timeout by Boston.
He's got to leave the field.
I tell you, Nolting, I flew with him from Baltimore yesterday. He's listed at 210.
Get out of here.
That's the funniest thing I've ever seen. He's closer to 260
than to 210. Don't tell the pilot he's listed at 210 because that'll just set the weight of the aircraft incorrectly.
He's a big man. He's
yes.
taller than people realize, and he's wider from shoulders all the way down to his ankles.
Take a look at the helmet coming off.
We're flying Southwest. If Asher got the middle seat, you're not having a good flight.
You're in his lap for 3.5 hours from Baltimore down here to San Diego. 3rd turnover already of the game for Boston. Yeah, 210. No way. Bundy. See, Bundy, number 7 in white, he's going to want to shoot from 2-point range, and he doesn't want to do that. That is an unforced error. The turnover goes the other way.
And that's kind of the scout on Bundy. Slide to him, make him a passer.
Both teams finishing 2-point shots in the early going here. That's why we're all knotted up at 2. First of 4 games this weekend here at Torero Stadium in San Diego. Campbell already has a 2-pointer. Now to Kirsten front. He shoots it wide. Had a great look.
I think the biggest challenge initially for both teams, handle the travel. Okay, about 90% of these players are coming from the East Coast. You got to get out here. You got to get hydrated. You got to get a workout in. You got to get your sleep.
Yep, sleep schedule's a little off with that 3-hour difference. Kavanaugh being forced on the end line. Did a nice job to get it to a teammate, Kirst.
Be a pro and handle all that stuff.
Kavanaugh working on Manley. Manley had a huge game last weekend. Four ground balls, 2 caused turnovers. A bounce shot gets by, just sneaked by McElroy. Holman was able to put enough on it to where even though McElroy got a piece, it squirted by him.
Good situational awareness here by Holman. Recognizing clock's winding down. I'm on a short stick. We got to go here. You see him just go underneath. And with a sliver of an angle, I think he kind of, that shot actually surprised McElroy.
McElroy gets a piece of this. He's been solid, not spectacular between the pipes. One of a handful of Georgetown goaltenders who have made the pro league. Morocco is one of them. You got McElroy, you got Anderson Moore, who's going to be a sophomore in DC, who should be a pro down the road. Kind of a slow start for McElroy.
Weirman and Tucci. Pops up in the air, still no possession yet.
It's off a Denver stick.
Now it's going to roll out of bounds. And it'll be Boston's ball. Trying to set it up quickly to start. Holman now to Nolting. Manley takes a whack at him. Nolting now spins underneath. Tough angle behind the back, and McElroy makes the save. I don't think that would have been on cage anyway.
It was a good job defensively by Manley after that rollback, staying on Nolting's hips to ride him towards goal line extended, push him behind the cage, eliminate his shooting angle.
D-Mitty's still on for Denver. Now they check out Hawes and Terefenko. That'll bring on 11 Dalton Young, the rookie that we talked about in the open. Alongside Cross Ferrara. He was a big-time rookie last year out of Salisbury, D3. O'Neal on the far side couldn't handle the pass. He'll track it down now, just 13 to shoot. O'Neal's just like cranking it like he wants to let it go. Instead, he tried to pass it inside and it goes wanting.
Nice defense by Boston. Started with Bubba Fairman getting out and encroaching on Sam Handley's space. Didn't let the big man run downhill.
Van Raphorst takes a shot. That's his 16th two-point shot on the year, and he hasn't hit any of them yet.
He's shooting as soon as he crosses the midfield line. He's got the green light regardless.
That was from 20.
Of his percentage.
That was from 20. I'm not sure that wasn't an intentional miss.
Even if he misses, then they can sub behind the play. You kind of slow pick up the ball. They're going to get an offside violation.
Another turnover. Both of these teams, you know, Q, to your point, making that travel out west. A lot of turnovers here early. A little bit of sloppy play, trying to find their footing. Here's Law against Van Raphorst. Spins back, doesn't have an angle. Now he'll go back on top. Bundy will let it fly. Kirst is all over it.
Tough save and a good one. This is where Boston can sting you.
Trainer on the move. Kavanaugh scores!
Nobody runs better than the Cannons. The clean save by Kirst, the rebound control, the aggressive outlet, and we've seen Jeff Trainer be a major threat in transition.
Kirst has only given up one two-pointer all season long. Clean save creates transition. Get it up and out. You got to respect Trainer in transition, and that's why you put Kavanaugh, his ability to bury the step down on the left side.
Surefire, first ballot Hall of Famer. Ground ball picked up by Denver, rather, but there's going to be a loose ball hold.
Yeah, that should have been a play-on situation with Casino picking up that loose ball. They had an advantage going in transition there.
Matty Pala making the call to restart. Here's Terefenko. O'Neal on the near side. Going against the all-star Garrett Epple. That is a big-time matchup. Shot off of Bubba Fairman's noggin.
This is scary.
He's adjusting his helmet right now. I think he's all right.
Okay, and Matt Palem steps in there, the official, and just makes sure he's okay. I love that.
I love the early action there for O'Neal.
Yes, touches early, right?
Touches early with picks to change the matchup off of the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Epple.
Beautiful job defensively. Once again, it's Ethan Rawl who gets knocked down, but he gets it to Van Raphorst.
This is the Cannons' DNA. Cause turnover on one end, push in transition. Third in the league in cause turnovers per games.
That ground ball play stands out by Rawl. Running towards the sideline, the body control to scoop and turn and find a teammate.
Slanian running out of the box, finds Holman. Here's Verdaro. Bunch of Georgetown guys in this game. Couple for Denver. Here's Verdaro.
He's got a matchup he likes.
Finished up his career with the Hoyas, shoots it high.
He's got Bundy trapped on defense, correct? 7 in white?
He does. It's a good matchup. They're smart to go at it.
Just 10 to shoot, though. Nolting. Tries to get it to Kavanaugh. That's going to go out of bounds. Shot clock was winding down anyway.
Nice D. Nice D by the Outlaws. Tell you, watching their practice yesterday, Jesse Bernhardt, the defensive coordinator at the University of Maryland, very instrumental. You got JT Giles-Harris. He's an assistant coach at Jacksonville. You got some smart guys down there defensively. They know what they're doing. To me, the question is, can they get their defensive middies to play on the same page?
I love that you said that, Q, because that's exactly what Jim Mitchell, the offensive coordinator for the Cannons, told us yesterday at practice. He said they are all coaches on the field defensively on this Outlaws team.
You really felt that watching practice.
Skip pass, O'Neal. In through the defense and scores!
Something out of nothing for the second time. I mean, had they not scored here, I was going to be critical of their spacing because it was all bunched up, especially around the perimeter. But O'Neal, his skill and athleticism, it just doesn't matter. He gets the ball and he just splits and gets back to the middle of the field. You thought Goodrich might help down here. 14 right there, you saw him in blue. He tried to get down and support, but he's just so big, he's so strong, and he yanks that back to that near pipe. That is incredibly impressive. You know, Eppel was going to try to make him go right, go right, go right. It's one thing to say it, to do it is a whole other task.
There are things he does that are unstoppable. That shot was just unstoppable. There's nobody making that save.
Terefenko, always so good off the ground in the middle of the field, picks it up. One of the best D-middies in the world. Stays on the field temporarily, as does Weirman. Now they'll check off.
Subbing 3 off the Outlaws into the face of this 32-second clock.
Which is now down to 15.
Probably not going to bode well.
I'd like to see Terefenko just stay.
Here's Hanley, double team comes. Now they're gonna have to force a shot. Law comes up, extra step to greatness. Oh, splits the defense and scores!
Wow.
Slippery.
That 33-year-old still got a few tricks up his sleeve, doesn't he?
He splits a double team. I mean, he is the master of sneaking behind the cage. Here you're gonna see him, he goes all the way around. He presents his target, says, give me the rock, and then that little roll dodge, he's able to split
Almost go underneath.
And Van Rapphorst pirouetting between 2 Cannon defenders. He's so crafty, he's so sneaky, he's so slippery, and there's no ego. And when he talks about this young bunch, it's all about somebody else. It's all about getting other guys touches, getting everybody organized.
So positive to his younger teammates at practice yesterday. Every play someone made that was good. Hey, Cotter, way to go, man, nice job. Hey, Boyle, good look. Like, constantly.
The amount of youth on this Denver team, he has been the perfect ingredient to add to the recipe here in the second half as they look to make a run. Kurst with the save. Van Rapphorst off the ground. Dangerously here, though. Kurst trying to pick it up and does.
Love the Kurst combination, the old school blue sweats with the red cleats.
You love the sweats, I knew it.
Great look.
It could be 170 degrees. You could be playing goalie on the surface of the sun, Q, and you'd still be wearing sweats. Nolting tries to get inside. Holman, quick shot. Hits off the back of the cage. He tracks it down, though. 23 seconds to shoot. Campbell makes a move, shoots. That's one that he usually cans.
Yeah, and you know, his 2-point proficiency sets that up. People are running out to the arc to cover him.
That's the easiest time to dodge a defender when they're running right at you.
Nolting tried to get it to Holman.
He saw Giles Harris coming, 1 in white. He made a business decision.
That was like a receiver going over the middle
in
football.
He made a business decision.
Shot clock winding down. Shot doesn't get through traffic. It'll be a violation, turnover to the Outlaws, and they're going to look to move quickly. Alex Smith will put it in motion.
It's nice D by the Outlaws. So far, it seems like they have the answer to Asher Nolting. Not sure about the other parts and the other aspects of Boston's defense, but Nolting's been defended really well.
And from a game plan perspective, Q, on this side of the field, the Outlaws have made it clear that 42 is going to get involved in a hurry. 15 seconds left in this first quarter. Shot wide. Outlaws back it up, closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds on a shot. Keeps
they've
possession.
got Vardaro trapped on defense, an offensive midfielder, 19. You can see him get involved in the pick play right here.
Shot and score! With time winding down, it's Cross Ferrara. And with just 2.6 seconds left in this first quarter, Denver strikes again and they take the lead.
And this is what you're looking for out of this offense in the 6-on-6. Get organized, identify your matchups, and exploit them. There you saw Bundy get Vardaro involved in the pick. He doesn't play that pick game properly. Van Rapphorst kind of gets rubbed in that pick, allowing Cross Ferrara to turn the corner, increase his angle. Smart lacrosse.
The brush and the rub makes a big difference. It doesn't look like much, but all of a sudden Van Rapphorst is on the chase.
3 straight goals for Denver as they take the lead after 1 quarter of play here in San Diego.
Great quarter for the Outlaws. They give up that early 2, then they're like, no, you ain't so bad. You're not so bad, Boston.
Both these teams took the field here this afternoon on a beautiful day and started firing from two. It was Campbell first to give the Cannons the early lead. O'Neal on the run, give him a two-pointer. O'Neal just kept it going, firing on goal, and his Outlaws are in front after one. Welcome back to the PLL on ESPN. It's presented by Warrior. Chris Cotter along with Quint, Kessenich, Ryan Boyle, Kaylee Chelios on the field here in San Diego. Outlaws with a 5-4 lead as we head to the second quarter. Brendan O'Neal's gone off to a great start.
8 touches in that first quarter alone, which leads the team. That's what I love to see, Quint. Get involved early. Don't let the game come to you. In the PLL, you've got to insert yourself right off the bat. Otherwise, the game can kind of get away from you.
He's always been such a humble, likable, and coachable player. But sometimes the star's got to be the star. And every possession is a good time for Brendan to have the ball on his cross.
And that's what I love about Eric Law. We saw it last weekend in Connecticut. There was a couple possessions where Law had it. It was maybe his turn to go, and he throws it to O'Neal. I was like, no, you just keep going.
Tucci won the faceoff to start this second quarter, but turned it over. Watch out, here's a problem. Holman diving and scores!
Wow, Boston press rides here.
Hell yeah, one.
They bring the attack down in a kind of a 3-down posture, and it puts pressure on this Denver clear.
You think that's because of Kavanaugh and Pat being inserted in the lineup
More
here?
mobile, younger legs. Asher Nolting clearly isn't built to ride. Holman's a hustler, though. And on this crossfield pass, lazily thrown, it hangs in the afternoon sun. And there's Holman for the pickoff.
What incredible body control there, going airborne.
Looked like a situation.
Did he step in the crease there?
I don't think he did. I think the shadow makes it look like he did.
Yeah, I don't think so there.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of green. If he steps in that crease, it's a crease violation. The goal is waved off.
And they're looking up at the big screen.
It's a challenge flag. The red flag comes out. Coach's challenge. So Coach Sudan thinks that he stepped foot on that crease.
To go on the field. The Outlaws have challenged that ruling.
The sun will set off to our left today. When we were here for the World Championships, it was like we were staring into the worst sun.
Yes.
Over at about 10 or 11 o'clock from camera. This is the best angle. He's outside the crease.
It's the shadow, like you said, Cotter.
He is outside the crease. This goal will remain. Terrific hustle play by Marcus Holman. Again, you talk about the production, him as an offensive player. A lot of variety in the way he scores goals. He's not a one-trick pony.
Well, we talked in the open queue about MVP candidates now as we're in the second half, and clearly I think Jeff Teague leads it with his scoring prowess. But you know, another team that could win a championship, you've got two of them here. You got Asher Nolting and Marcus Holman, I think maybe 2A and 2B.
I think that's the issue. They kind of split the vote, if you will, between the Cannons. And don't sleep on Blaze Reardon with Carolina,
because they're going to lean on him. They'll go as far as he carries them.
Utah Archers make a run. Maybe a guy like Connor Fields or Grant Damon.
Damon's having a great year.
After review, correct call. Good goal.
Matty Palin seems to have gotten that West Coast sensibility in him here the first part of this weekend. Not as fiery as we've seen him in the past. Maybe that'll change.
Sun's out, surf's up. Let me tell you, Matty Palin loves his fish tacos. No place better in the world than fish tacos.
And loves to get out in the sun, clearly. Somebody made the comment, we saw the officials walking up to the field today, and like, I've never seen a group of officials more tan than this group of officials that we have.
They look like lifeguards. They look like lifeguards.
And Hans Wittelsberger isn't even part of it. Tucci wins another draw. This time he decides to back it out and get it to Holman.
That's Bronze Wittelsberger.
Bronze Wittelsberger. Sure, he's back relaxing in Florida, getting ready for football season. We'll see him in the PLL before the season's over, that's for sure. Quick ball movement now from the Cannons. Slanian. Here's Nolting, working on Manley. You can see Denver really paying attention to 32. They've done a great job of shutting him down, but they're going to get a call here. Call's going to go against Denver.
Bernhardt went on the double team. Contact was made with Nolting's helmet. You see it flip back off his chin and up onto his nose. And so this is going to be a penalty on the Denver defender, Jesse Bernhardt.
Outlaws foul, number 36, 1 minute, slashing.
What I like about this double, Ryan, there was no hesitation. He said, I see it, I'm going, and he just went for it.
My only pushback is, did he need a slide?
Well, either way, going halfway against Nolting is death. Right there is the penalty.
Yeah, clearly.
So he misses on the slash, and then on the upswing, he ejects the helmet off of Nolting's head.
Cannons on a Rebel Bourbon power play. You see the numbers on the right side. Surprising that it's as low as it is with this team, don't you think? I mean, 27%. I would have thought with their sharpshooters it would have been a lot better.
Some of those may be twos, though, which would
elevate the efficiency
percentage.
Yes.
And Denver's last in the league in terms of penalty kills, so this might be the thing that Boston needs to get this unit going.
Slanian can shoot from distance. Soak and Holman. Inside, Drenner. Shot deflected.
Great deflection there by Manley.
Right now, Denver's just trying to kill some clock, get this ball cleared, and run out the rest of this man down situation. Terefenko, just the one to do it.
Kavanaugh not on the power play. I think that's got to change. I think he's got to play the low left spot. I think Campbell's got to be the top left. I think Jim Mitchell's still trying to find the parts and how they fit with that power play unit.
Yeah, here's Anderson now just looking to run some clock. Just 4 seconds left in the power play. Anderson will knock it out.
He's so shifty. Got great feet, 21 in white.
Now they had Law coming out of the box. Out there at full strength. Bundy shoots. Bouncer is wide. Don't forget, tomorrow the PLL regular season continues here in San Diego. Philadelphia taking on New York at 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC, followed by Maryland and California wrapping things up. The Redwoods with the doubleheader this weekend. All games throughout the season available on ESPN+. So 2 games. This is what's important about the homecoming weekend. These teams that have homecoming, they have 2 games. So the Redwoods come into this weekend with just 1 win. If they sweep, all of a sudden 3 wins, it's a whole different ball game for them.
Yeah, you look at it kind of zooming out. Atlas go 2-0 in their homecoming weekend. They're in first place. The Water Dogs go 0-2 on their Philly homecoming weekend, and they're bottom of the barrel in the East.
Atlas, the only team to win both games in their homecoming weekend so far this season.
Water Dogs' ability and record don't see eye to eye right now. Fascinating for me to see Bill Tierney, the greatest coach in the history of college lacrosse, with 7 titles, sitting at 1-5.
Kavanaugh behind the back. And the key thing with Q, just to wrap that up, 6 of the 8 teams make the playoffs. So if you get 3 or 4 wins and somehow find your way in, you can make noise. Slanian on the shorty. Question mark. McElroy was there. Picked up by Nick Grill. Wasn't able to pick it up, though. Body's flying. Ball's still loose. Call, it's going to go the Outlaws' way.
Nice stop by McElroy. Georgetown University, schooled under David Shriver, the producing goalies coming out of DC. He is a quintessential angle player. I mean, he's solid as a rock in terms of his angles.
4 saves on the day.
And his techniques.
Kirst goes high to make that save.
Trouble.
Fairman wants to run the pass to Kavanaugh just a little bit too high.
He's got to connect on that. That's a gimme right on the doorstep.
Denver bad shots that Kirst catch are a theme in this game in terms of Boston runouts.
Yeah, Kirst's ability to have the quote-unquote second assist, nothing that shows up on the stat sheet. His outlets key that transition.
Here's Dalton Young. Had 3 goals last week on just 14 touches, number 11 in white. Part of that rookie class that have been so good for this Denver team.
Alone. Peter.
Zawada looking for help.
Boston now shorting Zawada. Bumping a pole up top to a midfielder.
John O'Neill, look at the attention. Now that leaves Young open. The extra pass inside. A little twister from Law. Steered aside by Kirst. That was a beautiful play, everything but the finish. Here comes Fairman again. This time he decides to slow it down a little bit, waiting for Campbell and company to come in. Over to Kavanaugh on the near side, back to Campbell. Verdaro looking to attack Smith the shorty. As Drenner open inside, couldn't connect with him.
Bernhardt was in no man's land there defensively. Holman was open top of the arc.
Ooh, look out, Terefenko loses a stick, can still play without a stick in this league. Kavanaugh, the skip pass all the way to the far side. Verdaro too high.
Beautiful skip there by Kavanaugh.
Gritty play by Holman to get Kavanaugh the ball, and then I love the way that Pat had his eyes up.
5 seconds to shoot. Verdaro gonna have to make something happen. Kavanaugh can't handle the pass. And it's gonna be a shot clock violation.
So far, this Denver defense has done pretty good job in the 6-on-6. It's just, can they get back on defense to force Cannons to beat them that way? Everything's come in transition.
There's three things you have to do against Boston. You got to stop the Nolting action on offense. You got to defend the 2, and you got to limit Boston transition. You do those 3 things, you can beat the Cannons.
Anderson up top. Young man from the western part of the country, Nevada. Don't see too many pro lacrosse players come from Nevada, but Anderson, certainly one that has earned the right to be on this stage. Played his college lacrosse at North Carolina, 21 and white.
Took a mission, married with a child.
Ooh, that one almost played with cursed a little bit. Was able to make the save. Here's Van Raphorst. Is he going to shoot it? For him, it's like once it goes in, it's going to start going in.
He wants no part of 0-17.
No way. You mentioned earlier when he took a 2-point shot, he's 0 for 16 shooting. All those 16 shots are from 2-point range on the season. Kavanaugh, look at that pass. Oh, just wasn't handled by Drenner. Then he gets dumped from behind. Manley pushed him down, and we might get a loose ball push here against Manley. Yeah, that's what the call is going to be.
Yeah.
They had Drenner right out of the box. If they'd hit him in stride, they gained an advantage off the sub game.
Was another beautiful play that was everything but the finish in this game. We've seen a couple of them so far. Boston 1 for their last 10 shooting. Campbell looking to change all that down the alley, but nothing there. Holman now up top. Here's Kavanaugh against JT Giles Harris. Those two know each other, at least from Kavanaugh's early years in the ACC. That bounce shot is high.
Denver is winning the point of contact. Boston's not having very much dodging success. You look at their 5 goals, they got a 2, they got a transition goal, Kavanaugh from Trainer, they got Holman on the ride. In 6-on-6 sets, Denver's D'ing up the ball carrier.
11 to shoot. Nolting. He's been kept under wraps for much of the day today. Now on a shorty though, inside. It's a tough angle shot, and Campbell couldn't get it on cage. He's mad at himself because he had a good look. Tough angle, but a good look for 20 on the wing. Just 1 second to shoot, so Cannon's going to dump that in the corner, set up their ride defensively. Hey, tonight UFC 304 in Manchester, England, highlighted by 2 title fights. The return of Paddy the Batty Pimblett. Is there a more British name than Paddy the Batty Pimblett? Prelims begin at 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus. Main card follows at 10. To order the main card, go to espnplus.com/PPV.
It's been a few possessions since we've really got O'Neal engaged.
We've had some great play in this game, but 0 goals over the last 10 minutes.
Bogged down because of great defense.
Here's a little bit here. Dalton up top, cross Ferrara, steps into it, scores! That's a 2, it looks. Yes, a 2 from Ferrara. First 2-pointer on the year from Cross Ferrara.
The outside bouncers are in play today. This natural grass surface does not have as much friction as the fake plastic with the pellets. And Ferrara from Salisbury, the Beats boy, gives the Outlaws a 2-goal lead. incredible. Two-time captain at Georgetown. He was also captain of the USA under-20 team. Captain of a bunch of alphas. Shows his leadership ability.
Another ground ball off the face-off picked up by Cannons. They're having some success. 7 out of the 11 face-offs in this game won by Zach Tucci and company. What can they do with it, though? They've been bogged down a little bit here offensively. 1 goal in their last 14 and a half plus minutes. Kirst on the run. Switches back to his left. Now it's discombobulated there. Little maybe miscommunication with Holman.
And again, it was Bernhardt on that double team. I think it caught Kirst by surprise. He was rolling back and forth. That final roll was like, whoa, where'd you come from?
You're Jimmy Mitchell right now, Boston. What are you thinking? What are your options offensively? How can you create a favorable matchup? You thinking pick game? You thinking trying to get
I get Pat Cavanaugh in a pick game to try to get him on a short stick.
Cavanaugh matchup, like what do you have? Because the Nolting, running the offense through Nolting right now is kind of ground to a halt, it seems.
Sam Hanley. Anderson opts not to take the shot. Keeps the ball moving to O'Neal. O'Neal opened this game red hot. He's been involved from the jump. Down the alley, you can see how just big and physical he is. Hard to knock him off his line. Bundy gets a better angle, shoots, and scores.
This is one Kirst wants back, but I tell you what's notable here. Brennan O'Neal deals with the double team. He steps away, he draws both men's, and then he skips the ball to the weak side of the formation. This was something that at times he has struggled with. Watch it right there, that pass. That's a dagger to any defense.
And to build on that, then you're able to play off of Bundy's sharp shooting from distance. Goodrich takes a poor approach angle because he feels like if I don't get out of that guy, he's going to shoot 100 miles an hour on my goalie and bury it too. So Bundy uses that wisely and sweeps to the middle of the field to create a better shooting angle. Good things happen when you get to the middle of the field.
3-score advantage thanks to that 3-0 run. Largest lead of the game for either team, and it's Denver who has the lead. We spoke at length in the open about building on their big performance last weekend, this very up and down Outlaws team, and they are doing it here today. Terefenko inside, he scores easily. Defense lacking on that possession for Cannons as Terefenko, the D-mini, was wide open in the middle.
It's a total breakdown defensively. They thought O'Neal was going to skip it out to Pacino, and they just leave. Terefenko in the middle of the field. So watch right in the middle of the field. O'Neal's going to be heads up, and then Terefenko has become wide open, and that's because Raw was running out to cover Pacino, who's not even on your screen.
It's a matchup issue out of the substitution box where players are calling numbers and finding their matchups. What Boston does there, you've got to get in the hole first and establish your matchups from the inside out.
Timeout on the field. While we've got a minute, let's take a laundry break here from San Diego.
A passer. He's assisted on the last 2 Outlawed goals.
5 points in the first half for Brennan O'Neal. Here's Weirman. He's a threat to score off the faceoff. He shoots, and Kirst is able to go down and make the save. Now can the Cannons get anything going offensively with 23 left to go?
That is a huge save by Kirst there.
Drenner with the California Golden locks emanating from the back of his helmet. On the run, didn't have much of a shot. Aslanian from 2. Way up in the air as McElroy makes the shoulder save. Clock winding down. That's got to be a push in the back.
That save doesn't look like much, but on a grass field where these goaltenders have struggled with outside bouncers, that's a great example of how McElroy moves his feet and takes that shot off the shoulder.
Jesse Bernhardt is still down after taking that hit.
This will be a massive loss for the Outlaws. Not only is he an all-star caliber player, but he's basically like having a coach on the field. He is pushed from behind and lands on his what appears to be a right shoulder or left shoulder or scapula area.
He's holding
collarbone,
that shoulder.
Perhaps. It's just an awkward land and
Yes.
roll.
Q, it's not. So many cases like that. It's not how hard you land. It's exactly where you land. And if he lands right at the right spot, the initial shot from Campbell, that's where the call came. And then it's where he landed on the ground, to your point, Q.
Spent some time with Jesse yesterday. Guy's been doing it for a long time, man. What quality Team USA level player, future Hall of Famer. one of a family of boys.
Yes.
His brother Jared still holding out the dream to play in the NFL. Jake, the head coach up at Colby, a Division III school. Their dad, Bernhardt's dad, Jimmy, a longtime college and pro, late Jimmy Bernhardt, a longtime pro NFL coach.
You never want to speculate, but I don't like the fact that he isn't moving that left arm. You know, he's keeping that left arm totally still.
This guy's tough as nails, let me tell you. He is tougher. I'd put him up against anyone in this league. I said, you want to be a Navy SEAL? Like, who are you picking in this league? Bernhardt's one of the guys you turn to and say, you go on the mission. You're the toughest of this group.
Well, he wears the C on his jersey as one of the captains of this Denver team. Kaylee, what can you add?
Well, you guys talked about him being a coach, and that's exactly what he's been like. The defense for the Outlaws has been outstanding, and he's been a big voice on the field. And you talk about them being able to shut down the Nolting matchup. He's talked about wanting that matchup. He wants to get out. He wants the pressure. He wants that double. And so far, they're having a lot of success with him leading the charge on the aggressiveness from the Outlaw D.
He's their orchestrator.
Yes.
He's their voice. He's the conductor inside for the Outlaws defense. This is a huge development in this game.
Yeah, so they'll
It'd be like losing your goalie, your quarterback. Like he plays
your
that
middle
role.
linebacker,
Your middle linebacker.
calling
Thank
all
you.
the signals.
Final handful of seconds as the ball rolls to the end line and the horn sounds.
Roll Woods.
The Woods homecoming. It was a 2-point barrage. Both of these teams. Cross Ferrara getting involved from beyond the arc. Bundy on the run. Even Ryan Terefenko found the back of the net. Denver by 4 at the break. 3 2-pointers combined. Denver just 4 of 20. I should say Boston just 4 of 20 shooting there in that first half. They're going to be much better than that. Got a loose ball hold. It's going to go against Tucci. So it'll be Denver's ball. Defensively for Denver, so Jesse Bernhardt not starting the second half. Nick Grill has been is now down, so that leaves just Jake Pacino as their LSM. I wonder, and we talked about this, Q, whether somebody else would pick up a long pull. Maybe Justin Anderson play a little bit in LSM. Bouncer just doesn't get through for Bundy. It'll stay with Denver, 15 to shoot. Here's O'Neal. And he draws so much attention. I mean, everybody in blue has their eye on 42. Can't make the one-handed catch. And they'll stay with Denver, but just 2 to shoot, so that'll be a turnover. Not a very good possession for the Outlaws to start the second half.
I think Bubba Fairman maybe overthought that. It was short shot clock, so he let the ball stay loose to get the violation, but I thought he could have aggressively picked it up and keyed some transition there.
Drenner out of the box, full head of steam. Behind the Nolting, very quiet first half for Asher Nolting. 1 assist, 2 turnovers on 15 touches. Shoots. Well, that'll change everything. But he's going to get a late flag here. So the goal is going to be good. The frustration showing from Asher Nolting, though, he's going to get a late call.
These are 2 big men. Nolting beats him to the spot and scores right-handed. Manley is a brute force.
By the way, that was correctly called. Loose ball push is exactly what it was.
And these guys have been going after it all game. After the whistle, do the refs catch Nolting here?
You could see Holman having a word with him.
Number 32, 30-second technical conduct foul. We'll have a man down face-off. The goal is good.
Watch him get topside, shrug off Manley. McElroy comes off the near post, which is a cardinal sin, and the goal. And then afterwards, right there, it's like Manley wouldn't let him go, I guess, and he got a little frustrated.
You can see him.
Manley's got him hooked,
lift. Yeah,
and he's underneath the arm pretty good. He's still tight, and he just never disengages.
30 seconds is probably the right amount. Manley with a little bit of acting here. Look at Manley. Oh.
Yeah, he did a good job there, instigating a little bit and then
Drew the
selling
call.
it.
They got man up here. Now it's a big face-off. 30-second, man up. Rebel Bourbon power play.
Jerry Tarkanian chewing on the towel in the penalty box.
That's a big win by Tucci. He's just going to want to hang on to this now. He'll be able to kill off that Rebel Bourbon power play in a moment.
Yeah, not all face-off wins are created equal.
That
I
was
love
big.
the effort by Tucci there.
And now Kavanaugh will just take a peek at the shot clock. Now he loses it. But job one done in terms of killing off that man down.
First start for Pat Kavanaugh on the Boston Cannon attack this summer. Finally, what was it, week 8?
Yeah, they're playing him out of position early on at midfield. He was still banged up from his college season, winning a national championship at Notre Dame, back-to-back titles. You know, the guy had basically been grinding for 2 straight years. He just wasn't totally fully healthy. Now he's back.
Alone!
Hanley.
Alone!
It's a different wrinkle for Denver.
On Trainer. Now the slide comes from way outside Bundy, but gobbled up by Kurst, no problem. Look at that outlet, too, to Trainer.
That shot clocked at 104 miles an hour.
Holman thought about stepping in. Beautiful pass coming out of the box. Campbell finishes it off. Pays the price for it, but Holman found him streaking in, and Campbell with the goal.
All eyes are on this 2-man game between Holman and Trainer. Trainer's got his offensive matchup trapped on defense. They're going back and forth, back and forth. Let's start with the save.
From about 18 yards, Bundy tries to beat Kurst slow. He's all over it. The rebound control is supreme.
The whole defense is paying attention to that 2-man game. Meanwhile, behind the play, Cannon substitute effectively. Campbell comes just flying out of the box. Earlier, they missed Drenner late. There, they hit Campbell in stride.
So after a long scoring drought to end that first half, Cannons with 2 goals in a minute 21 to get right back into this thing. 9-7. Tucci continues to play well against Weirman at the faceoff dot. He's won 9 of 16. Verdaro. Working on Terefenko. Now over to Nolting. Shoots, scores! Over Manley. And he has a word or two to say about it.
Quiet first half. You wonder how much Jim Mitchell and Brian Holman went to Asher during halftime and said, hey, big boy, we need to get you involved here.
Well, I tell you what, Manley's left on the island without having Jesse Bernhardt, the orchestrator, who's been patrolling the middle of the field. Manley's in good position. That's just amazing offense. He's trailing him with his stick, Ryan, so that gives Nolting the right-handed release instead of crossing over. Manley would probably rather go V-hold there and be stick on stick.
And you saw Nolting kind of hang his stick a little bit, trying to show him a little piece of meat. Manley was about to throw that check. He took the bait, and that allowed him to get his hands free.
And what Manley's dealing with is, if he does cross over, then Nolting's going to roll back to the goal. That's the cat and mouse between offensive player and defensive player.
Big physical play with the ground ball off the faceoff. And it continues. Tucci and Weirman.
Starting to get a little chippy
Yes.
out there.
It's that time of the summer.
It is.
It really is. You turn the corner after the All-Star game, and that's where the temperature heats up. It's been a long summer, the travel, you're playing for a lot. A lot's at stake.
Boston also just comes out of their Atlas win. They're probably feeling a little like, okay, we got Denver, we're just going to roll over these guys.
Denver, meanwhile, fighting for their playoff lives. A win here goes a long way. Get the 4 wins on the season. That might end up being the Mendoza line when all is said and done. Remember, 6 of the 8 teams make the playoffs. The 2 conference champions get a bye in the first week. Bouncer, too high.
Again, that high bouncer off of this surface. That was a super low angle, but Kurst really had to get up to that, Quint.
It's a different surface for these goaltenders. Most of this summer, they'll play on the sport grass.
Zawad off the feed. Law couldn't quite get the rebound.
They got
And
numbers
Rapport
here.
does.
A trailer and Bryce Young, nice stick.
Holman trying to track it down, picks up the ground ball.
That's a
nice
great
job.
ground ball play.
Yes, but Grill is right there, and he picks it up. Now Nolting in front. All kinds of trouble. Kerr shoots. Can't get anything on it.
Bodies are flying, sticks are flying, flags are flying.
What a great
F-bombs
example.
are flying.
What a great example of how cool lacrosse is. It's such an unforgiving game, and things happen fast and change quickly. So this all starts with Holman boxing his player out and doing a one-handed scoop of a ground ball. A magnificent play. Everything's great, right? Boom. But next thing you know, this play gets out of control. Watch it from here. He tries to flip it to a teammate. Double team happens. Ball on the carpet. Next thing you know, Boston's in go mode. McElroy stops. Things happen fast and are so unpredictable.
That's the slash right there from Nick Grill. So Grill will have a seat. Cannon's on the Rebel Bourbon power play. Drenner will put it in play.
Quint, you mentioned earlier Pat Cavanaugh not on this unit. I'd put him in for Kirst right here.
Campbell shoots from distance wide.
You gotta know your personnel. You gotta be able to get out to Campbell. Hawes has picked up a long pole because Grill had the penalty.
Campbell again now skips it to Holman. Holman steps down. Looked like McElroy got a piece of that one.
Yeah, this is where they hunt twos, is in the power play and transition.
Slonny can shoot. Campbell can shoot. Nolting, quick pass inside Kirst. Now he shoots, scores!
Ryan, you mentioned it. They hunt twos on this power play, and look how expanded this defensive framework, the shell of this defense is just so spread out. Kirst is left with all sorts of real estate. It's not your typical extra man goal, but he singes a corner with a BB.
All tied up at 9, midway through this third quarter.
The Cannons to 5 goals in that first half, but that's with Bernhardt in the game. With him out, now you've got to lean on your offense to really match scores with the Cannons.
Yeah, Jesse Bernhardt, close defender for the Outlaws, injured his shoulder in the last minute of the first half. He will not return today, so Tucci, the bouncer, is high, and it has been all Cannons here in the second half.
Dominating time of possession, dominating the energy, the vibe. You know, that injury is significant for the Outlaws. Jesse Bernhardt's like captain, defensive coordinator, starting defender, orchestrator, conductor, the voice of the defense. They got to move on. It's kind of sulking around on defense now.
Cavanaugh. Now he's got the shorty working on. It's Hawes. He shoots just wide, but stays in play. Nolting, who's caught fire here in the second half. Shot clock winding down, though. Holman just dumps it. Kaylee, what's going on down there?
Well, you talked about it. They drop a 4-goal lead, Denver does, and you love to see Graham Bundy Jr. firing up the boys. He's saying, we just dropped 4 goals. We got to get the next play. And on the other side, you get the veteran experience of Eric Law coming in and saying it starts with the ground ball. You bet they're fired up right now.
Yeah, this was part of it, too, is you don't have the quarterback on defense, but you also have such a young roster. When you start to sulk cue, somebody has to pick you up and say enough of that. And you're relying on a lot of young players to do that.
I look at this Denver team. They're definitely a playoff contender, but to be a championship contender, they've got to even out some of these valleys that we've seen from them this summer. Whether it's O'Neal's inconsistency or a game where they only scored, what, 4 goals?
Yes. Bundy. Nice play, dipping underneath. The shot was a little bit wide, though.
I mean, they lost to New York 2 weeks ago, 17-4.
I would argue it wasn't even that close.
They turned around the next week and beat Philadelphia 15-13. Like, will the real Outlaws please stand up?
And I think that's why that pickup of Eric Law was so critical, is to get that veteran presence on the offensive side with all the young bucks. Creating some organization, some structure, some leadership. You know, in that Atlas game, Brendan O'Neill only had 7 touches. Like, that's not going to happen under Eric Law's watch.
Campbell on Pacino. It's a cursed pick. Pacino goes under it and has a nice trail check on that one. Stays with Cannons, though. Tough angle shot, and Trenner scores. Trenner's from Finksburg, Maryland, but one look at him and you would think he was from sunny Southern California.
He's solid as a rock, isn't he? He's had a quiet game, just doing his job. He'll wait his opportunity. He's not going to kind of force his will on the game. And then watch his set shot from mid-range from the wing. I think he beats McElroy to the punch.
Yeah, I think Manley created some offense here. Nolting so far away from the cage, you could see the Nolting Manley back and forth continues, but in that situation, I think Manley was just a little anxious to go there, and they didn't have the rotation behind it.
Creating offense, again, and that goes back to, that's Bernhardt's role, to decide as the interior defender when to go, when not to go, when to trigger those double teams and get the defense rotating. Now without him, some hesitation.
And after a slow first half, Nolting's got 4 points in this quarter alone.
He is on fire now, and so are the Cannons. They erased a 4-goal deficit, their first lead in a long time. They've had 5 straight netters. Now O'Neal trying to make something happen on the offensive end. Dalton Young, swim dodge to get away from the initial defender. Ferrara, the long distance shot. Shot clock winding down. Now we get a flag. Let's check that marker.
Something against Dalton Young because he was in a lot of pain. 11 in
Cannons
white.
foul number 2, 1 minute slashing.
Dalton Young's had a really nice rookie season, hasn't he? Chantilly, Virginia, played at Richmond for Dan Chamati. He's a Spider. Big-bodied right-hander. Dalton Young draws this foul. He can get to the rack. He's not going to blow by you, but he's going to kind of roll through your contact. He's super strong. Here he is right here.
Fairman getting a little bit high. There's a whack. Not that one. That's going to be the one.
Maybe another.
That's going to be the one.
Pick one of them.
Three
Pick
for
one
$1.
of the 3.
The Little Italy Street Festival on Saturday.
Yes.
3 for $1.
Rebel Bourbon power play, and this is one where, well, you want to stem the tide if you're the Outlaws. Perfect opportunity here.
Shutting off Bundy on this power play. 7 in white's got being face guarded by Goodrich.
Zawada looking from up top. O'Neal thought about firing. Instead gets it to Anderson. There's Zawada and Hanley on the near side. Tried to dunk it. He's going to be in the crease. That was either a goal or in the crease, and he knew it.
That shut on Bundy, eliminating the threat from 2-point range and allowing the defense to really compact there. Zawada had Hanley right in front of him, elected to go back across the field, but you love the wrinkle from defensive coordinator Kyle Hartzell just to throw that Outlaws power play a little out of sync.
And now Kirst and company will just run this power play clock down. They'll kill it off. 10 more seconds and we'll be even strength.
Hartzell, the head coach at the University of Texas, MCLA squad. An assistant spot, Cotter's got your retirement job in Austin written all over.
I wouldn't mind going to Austin. I couldn't afford to live there for very long, but I'll give it a shot for a little bit.
He's doing a great job with that Longhorn program.
Think of all the athletes at the University of Texas, like guys that played high school lacrosse and football that don't have that option now at the next level. They want to play at the club level. Terefenko gets swallowed up.
No call.
Wow.
No call. Wow.
Almost lost his helmet,
I thought
too.
Trainer jumped on his back.
Here we come with the Cannons. That's Trainer. Had Rawl trailing, opted not to go with the pole. We've got a delayed call coming up here. This is going to go against Denver. So a big, transition there. You didn't get the call for Denver on the offensive end, but now you're going to get called yourselves. Drenner thought about that tough angle shot instead to Holman. Now Drenner looking to attack. In front, good catch. Kirst, though, couldn't quite bring it around, and he's holding a wrist or an arm here.
He got hatcheted.
Number 34, 30-second technical conduct foul.
So Terefenko is going to sit for a conduct foul. I'm not sure whether that was something he said or something he did.
I heard it.
Yeah, I think he was
heard it.
Yeah, you did.
barking at the official about the non-call the other end.
Yes, because he was the one who got mugged.
Correct.
So
basically got tackled. There was no foul called.
So that was a heck of a catch, and Kurst just couldn't quite bring it around to take a shot on McElroy. He's holding his wrist a little bit there. There's Terefenko sitting. Rebel Bourbon power play for the Cannons.
That interior slot area, you better have your shin strap on, your arm pads on, because you're going to get lit up in that kill zone right in front of the net.
They love this throw and exchange.
And they're rotated here a bit.
Skip pass inside. Nice save by McElroy. Drenner right on the doorstep. Comes up hobbling. 22 in blue.
They run that little rotation play, and if you sag in, that's when you get the 2-point threat of Campbell. If you press out on those shooters, that's what opens up the skip lanes.
Good save by McElroy, one he needed to make.
6 saves on the day for McElroy. Zawada now being double teamed. Law was able to pick up the bounce pass. Now he's in trouble in the corner. He's just going to have to fire it upfield. Bundy saves it. You got to be kidding me. Unfortunately, though, it goes right into the stick of number 41 in blue. That's Bryce Young. Watch out. Now Van Raphorst thought better of it. he wanted to let it rip. 77 in blue. Holman does, though. That was a better option. That was the better option for 77. Get it to 1.
Marcus Holman has scored a lot of goals in his career, Quint. I can't think of a lot of right-to-left splits on the run going down the alley. This is not something normally that's a part of his repertoire.
And I think he catches McElroy. I really do. I think he catches him sleeping there. Just a downhill dodge, as you said, right to left right here. 9 times out of 10, Holman's not going to take this left-handed on the run, but he just powers that ball past McElroy's ear, over his forehead. Holman having a monster day. Again, he stays in the running, in my eyes, for the MVP with performances like this.
His 487th career point, tying none other than Ryan Boyle for 6th on the all-time point list.
Attaboy, Marcus.
What a quarter from Boston. What a quarter.
Yes, no question about it. We go to the 4th, the Cannons with an 11-9 lead.
That's how a champion responds to being down 9-5.
And Nolting responded after a quiet first half. 32 in blue was on fire.
Everybody had answers. Tucci winning draws, Kurst making saves. Denver's going to have to go to the bullpen when we come back with Sean Scanoni.
Sean Scanoni now in goal for Denver as the Outlaws make a change. Owen McElroy being replaced by the veteran Scanoni.
Lefty from Long Island and UMass, a former starter and quality player in this league. Had some struggles early in the year. I thought he looked great yesterday in practice, quite honestly.
You wonder
his issues have been from distance down low. From the inside, he's better than McElroy.
You wonder if it's performance related with McElroy or just one of those wake-up calls. A little bit of both. For your defense, like, hey guys.
Maybe hoping to catch lightning in a bottle here in the 4th quarter with Scanoni, because the tenor of this game has completely turned in favor of the Cannons, up 2 now early in the 4th quarter.
And this is the unit that's got to step up for Denver.
Anderson switches to his right and just too high.
I said this during the 3rd quarter with Bernhardt going out. You knew they were going to struggle a little bit defensively. You got to sharpen up offensively and win a shootout.
O'Neal's got to get the ball here, 42 in white.
Zawada over to Young. Denver's 0 for 10, 0 for their last 11 now shooting.
He should handle this off the end line.
Correct, yes. There's 20.
He has not had enough touches in the second half.
And like, don't pass this. You've got to create something.
Going against the all-star Epple, 52. He'll stay with Outlaws with 13 to shoot as that ball went off the back of the cage.
He uses the pick there. Talking to Ronnie Caputo, the assistant coach at Duke University, told me Brennan doesn't like picks in general set for him. He can beat his man without a pick. And sometimes he thinks it maybe confuses or coagulates the area. Doesn't actually help him.
Gets in, it sneaks in. Past Colin Kurst.
Huge Huge goal for the Outlaws. They snapped the scoreless streak, and Dalton Young, who I would label 99% right-handed, pulls the string and goes lefty here.
Yeah,
Look.
good split there on Goodrich. And there's just no help or no slide, no support behind the play. They're trusting Goodrich on ball.
I couldn't believe when he pulled it and went left-handed.
Well, neither could Goodrich, apparently.
Kirst got just a little bit of it, but not enough. Denver back to within one, and Dalton Young continues to make the most of his limited touches, relatively speaking.
Nice rookie season,
Yes,
right? I mean, that's
very
one of the big
nice.
storylines, if not the biggest storylines of this summer.
Tucci took a big hit.
The depth and quality of this rookie class.
No question about it. The Rookie of the Year battle is going to go right down to the wire. Several teams and players in this league. Now Campbell. Back to his left, getting double teamed. Pacino with a nice strip. Here we go the other way.
Love the way Denver played that two-man game. Smith jumped out aggressively.
O'Neal, look, he just wants to fire.
And then Pacino trailed behind it.
Bundy. Being checked by the offensive midfielder Campbell. So Campbell's stuck on the field, as is Drenner.
Terefenko stays, as does Pacino.
Now Drenner's going to check out. But Campbell's still on the field.
And O'Neal's got a short stick on him.
Zawada looking for help. Here's Bundy. Again, working on Campbell. He's got to like this matchup. Shoots with the right, and it's just wide. Now Campbell, I would think Campbell's got to get out of there, but he's staying in there with Terefenko.
I got to see O'Neal get touches off of end lines, and Sam Handley needs to be more involved. 26, the big man in white.
Shot clock winding down inside 10. Zawada's got to find a cutter here. Tried to force it in front. Picked up by Eppel. We'll get a whistle, though. It's going to be a crease violation.
And again, that should have been a play-on situation. Boston had a clear advantage.
Campbell, he's been on the field a long time. Shoots it right into Scanoni. Scanoni now trying to outlet quickly. Look at that look to Law.
Nice start by Scanoni. Comes in off the Pines cold.
Pacino to O'Neal on the far side. Nice catch. Look, he's being draped all over the place. I mean, Holman was riding his back into the ground.
Holman's an attackman, okay? So he's riding, he crosses the midfield line. He gets back inside the arc, and he's looking around saying, oh no, I got Brennan O'Neal. Well, the ball swings to O'Neal. What do you think's going through the mind of Marcus Holman?
This is hack-a-shack. This is like, forget it.
I'm just gonna jump on your back.
Yeah,
that's exactly
that's hack-a-shack. It's like, forget trying to play defense.
Yep, whatever it takes.
He's like a rodeo cowboy jumping on a little, trying to turn a steer.
Well, now you give your penalty killers a chance, as opposed to Brennan O'Neal just running roughshod towards the cage. Rebel Bourbon power play for Denver.
Here's the shut on Bundy again. Zach Goodrich, the short sticks, shutting Bundy.
Hanley thought about two. Instead, it's O'Neal who steps down, and Kirst
Really
makes the
good,
save.
really good. Tomahawk chop by Kirst with that top hand, driving that top hand down to the turf and sealing that ball so it doesn't get underneath the cross.
And if I'm Denver, I got to be more prepared going into that power
You need
play.
a better shot than that, right?
They shut Bundy on the first one. It worked. They're going to go back to the well again. What is your plan in place ready for that adjustment? You've got to have a counter.
All even. The penalty to Holman now expires, and Marcus with the ball in his cross.
Holman hasn't tackled like that since he played for the Lutherville Timonium rec football team when he was in 6th grade.
Verdaro got to step on his defender. A little bit high. No call, though. Beautiful skip pass into Holman. Didn't have an angle on Manley, though. Here's Asher. Shot clock winds down.
He had a nice matchup there, too. He's got about 100 pounds on Pacino.
16 turnovers now against Cannons. Another opportunity to knot this game up here for Denver.
Every possession just going to be critical from here on out. 5-2 Boston Cannons. Denver's only 3-2. Remember, they got a doubleheader coming up in, what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, in Denver, their homecoming. Barton Stadium, University of Denver. So that's a huge weekend for them, just like this weekend is huge for California. They got 2 games coming up next, and then tomorrow, if they can win both those games, Redwoods are right back in this thing. Moving pick
On Ferrara.
So there's Fairman saying, let's just settle this thing down. Got the lead. Let's wait for offensive players to check in. There's one of them right there in Drenner. Midway point of this 4th quarter. First of 4 PLL games here in San Diego this weekend. Got Chaos and Redwoods next. Kerr steps into it, scores. That's a 1-pointer. Had a foot inside the line, but that's a big goal for the Cannons.
The Cannons are killing Denver in the sub game. They're quicker to the box. They're more organized. They're going from the midline, from the box. They've been gaining advantages all game long. Here you see Campbell hit Kerr from range.
The willingness to shoot it from the arc, near the arc, has been a Boston trait all summer. And what they continually do is set up shooters from dead center.
6:17 to go. Boston back out on top by 2. Denver had the lead at the half, but Boston has really come storming back here in the second half. Now the Outlaws are still in it, but they've got to figure something out, especially on the offensive end.
First-time grounders right now.
Yeah, it was a 50-50 ground ball there. Pacino, you wonder, having to play the whole second half.
Denver, the worst ground ball team in the league.
Nolting, the bouncer. Scanoni didn't need to make the save as that was off the mark. Kavanaugh had a little bit of room on Giles Harris. JT Giles Harris closes it down. Now he shoots. Scanoni makes the save just as the shot clock wound down, but it'll be a fresh 32 now.
How about the job that Giles Harris has done so far in Kavanaugh? Just that 1 goal and in transition. That matchup still front and center here. Now we're going to get a challenge.
Shot clock, I'm guessing?
Yes, on whether that was yeah, I guess they're looking to see if Scanoni saved it.
The previous play was ruled a legal reset on the field. The Cannons, excuse me, the Outlaws have challenged that ruling.
So the Outlaws must be saying it wasn't Scanoni who saved it. They must be saying it hit the outside of the cage, which if that was the case, the shot clock would not reset and it would be a shot clock violation against the Cannons. So this is where we need to look.
Does he get the shot off?
That's the other thing too. Does he get the shot off?
I don't think he gets the shot. I think they're challenging that he didn't get the shot off in time. It's a shot clock violation. Bingo, right there.
Still in his stick at 0.
That is a shot clock violation. So this will be Denver's ball.
Good eye on that cue. Yeah.
Tell you, JT Giles Harris, one in white, the former Duke defender. His lateral game, his footwork game, the way he sits down, Ryan.
And he's a technician.
I think he's like the best in the game at it. His stick positioning, his ability to corner, to change directions.
Doesn't do a lot with his stick, just always in his matchup's hands. Just a little disruption here, a little disruption there.
Hard to get around.
So we gotta go back to
with his stick, low risk, high reward in terms of always just being in the hands.
All-star JT Giles Harris from Nyack, New York. Played his college lacrosse at Duke.
Yes, he won the challenge. 5:33, and Denver 52, and Denver's going to clear it. Okay.
JT's a guy coaching at Jacksonville as an assistant coach for John Galloway. They'll reset this clock. JT, a role model for so many.
Shot clock violation against Boston. Denver will clear the ball with a 52-second shot clock, 5:33 on the game clock.
Good use of the coach's challenge from Tim Sudan. Now they're out of challenges, but at this point in time in the game, had to throw the red flag and had to get the call to be right for him. So, 2-point disadvantage for Denver. 5:33 remaining.
You're not thinking twos yet. You're thinking Brennan O'Neill, okay? Your best player, your star, a guy who's won some games for you in the late moments. 42 and white's got to be the mainstay of your offense right now.
Outlaws just 1 for 15 shooting in this second half.
Epple's pressing out against him, denying his touches on the far side of the field.
Bundy on Fairman, the shorty. Gets it back to his right hand to Anderson. Here's O'Neal. On Epple, double team comes, gets it back to Bundy, but the pass wasn't on the mark, so Goodrich is able to make up ground. Behind the back shot from Bundy, nowhere near on target. 7 seconds for the Outlaws.
That had promise, didn't it? That had promise. I like the pick set. Bundy setting the screen for O'Neal.
Farrar's gonna have to make something happen, and he's not gonna have enough time.
You gotta go to the goal. I mean, don't trail behind there with this short a clock. If you've gotta just fly through the crease, you gotta get the pay dirt there. You can't just give up on a possession. Big a defensive possession here for Denver. You gotta keep this as a 2-goal margin, 1 possession.
Now to Nolting. Uses a cursed pick. Defender slides through it. That's Manley. Gets the ball knocked away. Battle for it in the middle of the field. Campbell gets it, but just 10 to shoot. Kavanaugh checks the clock. The pass inside of Aslani and just couldn't quite handle it. Pacino was all over him. Now he picks up the GB.
Important clear.
Gets it to Smith.
They've got Hawes on the backside and they can see him.
Here he is. Now we get a whistle and a timeout.
They had a little 2-on-1 there between Hawes and Ferrara.
Timeout for Denver, trailing by 2. Just under 3.5 to go. Now it's...
He's setting up a Bundy too,
Yeah,
or some look for Brendan O'Neal, 42 and white.
Well, here's O'Neal setting a pick. That was a dangerous, almost a moving pick, but Hanley gets through it. Now O'Neal, tough angle.
Iron.
Man, that came out there. I like to get the jugs gun on that one.
Hit the iron, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right, because Kirst was looking at it, 93 miles an hour.
You could go right back to the same action.
Bouncer, Kirst makes the save, and he's able to pick it up in the crease.
So clutch. So clutch by Kirst.
I've got to tell you, Q, you made mention of it, how Kirst had the sweats and the red cleats in the beginning of the game. I think he's made the switch to blue cleats.
He did. He did.
You talked about the surface and how maybe some of those bounce shots were affecting him. Maybe he thought he was getting better. He was able to move his feet a little bit better with new cleats.
It'll change here in San Diego. We wake up and it's cloudy with the marine level, and things are moist and wet and cool. The sun comes out and it feels like Arizona in the middle of the afternoon.
Yes.
And then it cools down at night.
Very arid, you're right. It changes. Drenner here in no hurry, wants to run some clock. They want to get a good shot. Kavanaugh looking at that shot clock. He's going to have one shot. Rolls back. Tough angle. Scanoni makes the save. Kavanaugh will relentlessly ride you, 51 in blue. There's no easy passes after the ball turns over.
Scanoni's done nice work off the bench. He really has. Made 3 stops, all with his shins. He's going to need some ice.
Again, it is just a 2-score deficit, but under 2 minutes to play. So Cross, Farrar, and company got to make something happen here.
You got to play with some urgency here offensively.
Get it to 42 and white. Brendan O'Neal, far side of your screen.
Zawada, he shoots. Kirst makes the save. Law tries to pick up the loose change in front, which he's so good at, but it gets into Kirst's stick. So one Kirst with the save, the other Kirst with the GB. And now Denver's in a lot of trouble. Still 40 seconds to shoot, so it's about a 26-second differential.
And the ball's in front of the goal, so you can't really go out and double team it.
And Scanoni's not the guy for this role to come out of the net with his lack of mobility.
You're kind of committed to getting a stop here and letting Boston use the whole clock. If you're Boston, go late here. Go late. You've already taken enough juice off the clock. Try to stretch this to 3.
Rodaro
Field balance key for the Cannons here.
gets under his defender, shoots, hits the pipe. Denver trying to break out. Pacino, he's a threat to score.
They'll have some matchups now.
Gets it to O'Neal.
They got Holman trapped. They got Aslanian trapped.
O'Neal with Eppel all over him. Gets it to Manley. One more to Pacino. He shoots the bouncer. It's high. It stays with Denver. The crowd was on their feet. They thought that was a great opportunity for a 2. Timeout for Denver. 34 seconds to shoot. 13.7 in the game, so the shot clock irrelevant. Denver's got to work something out here to get a 2-point shot.
The high bouncers have been so effective this game.
But Boston's going to deny any touches outside the arc here.
Denver 2 for 8 from beyond the arc in this game. O'Neal, just stick on the field right in front of him, rolls back. Hanley, instead they go for a 1.
Don't need it.
And it hits the water. That's going to do it.
How about a second half from the Boston Cannons, though? Down 9-5. Dominate the third quarter. They show their championship medal. It's their 3rd win in a row now, 6-2 on the season.
He's standing by with Asher Nolting.
Asher, congratulations on the win. What a heroic effort from your group, a lot of grit. What did you do to break through against the Denver Outlaws defense in the second half?
You know, our halftime talk was we were doing everything right. We did our job right. We just needed to execute better. Bury the ball. We're getting the looks we wanted, and we did that in the second half.
And it was a team effort. Marcus Holman, 4 points. What about the effort from the Curse brothers? The big save and then the ground ball in the final minute and a half.
I mean, you can't say enough about both of them. Colin, I think, is the best goalie in the world right now, and then I think Connor Kirst is just an unbelievable two-way guy for us, and that shows today. I think he has potentially 2 goals and like 5 ground balls, so that's an awesome effort from both of them.
Another key win for your group. How do you feel about the way this group is trending right now? Obviously, one of the best teams right now, the way you're playing, so consistent.
Yeah, no, that was a great, first half, we had a good effort. The effort was consistent the whole time. We just still haven't executed it full 48 minutes, and I think that's what we'll start to do as the year goes on.
Thanks so much for your time. Congratulations on the win.
Tale of 2 halves for the team and for Asher Nolting. First half, he had 1 assist with just 1 shot and 2 turnovers. Second half, 2 for 3 shooting. Those 2 goals and an assist. He was part of that offensive resurgence for the Cannons. Hugs all around as they pick up a win out west and are in first place in the Eastern Conference. The second game of our doubleheader is coming up in about 30 minutes over on ESPN+. Carolina taking on California. For Ryan Boyle, Quint Kessenich, Kaylee Chelios, and our entire crew, I'm Chris Cotter. Thanks for watching the PLL on ESPN.